YouTube. Hopefully this is my biggest ever video was on one of these. This one by a Yamaha ERG121, which is the C variant of it. There are different ones, not exactly sure what they are. Someone told me one, sometimes the letter at the end means something. There's one called a V, or it might be there's a Pacifica with a V on it for Alnico 5 pickups. It's something like that. They kind of changed a wee bit over the years. There's one you can get with gold hardware on it, which looks like it's got slightly better tuners. But ultimate best guitar you can get. There, said it. Got expensive guitars. Not that much difference. I'll be straight up. So we've got a HSH Sports Strat. I'm calling it. I'm not quite a Super Strat. I think a Super Strat needs to have 24 frets and a Floyd Rose and a pointier headstock. So this is like kind of like the Ibanez Roadster, the red one on the wall behind me there. It's a Sports Strat, so it's a Strat, but it's a little bit more streamlined, a little bit more versatile. But for a beginner, amazing guitar, covers everything. I'm kind of thinking everyone should have one. I was going to do it with a Cube amp. I'll do another video with the wee Roland Micro Cube, which is the best wee amp you can get. But currently I'm playing through the orange TH30. Yep, so 5-way switch. I have done mods to this. I did a video of this yesterday when I got it, before I cleaned it up. It was manky and the strings were ancient and stuff like that. But so the 5-way switch, the way it works as standard is bridge humbucker plus the middle plus bridge humbucker, neck humbucker. Doesn't do that anymore. But then, so as standard, you do get a single coil sound. This one. And then the humbuckers, which for me, I always think humbuckers are for a bit of distortion. So I'll stick the rat pedal on. And then the neck. Now, I fix up guitars, so I'm really used to getting, cheaper guitars in and having to do quite a lot of fret work on them and stuff. Didn't have to do anything to this at all. All I've really done since I got it in at the weekend there was took the strings off it, gave it a clean, put it back together again. Pretty much. Someone had been messing with the saddles, so they're kind of meant to be sort of on a curve to follow the radius. They were sitting level, so basically I've adjusted that, and I put contact cleaner, scooshed it. I think you might see me do that in the video, into the switch to make it work again, and that's kind of it. Apart from, I had to do my special mod, which is an amazing mod to do these things. If you're not a beginner and you're actually thinking of having a go at, I should really be trying to fix up the guitars myself. Get one of these. You can pick them up for 100 quid, under 100 quid, pretty much all the time. There's actually one in Peebles that comes with a wee amp for 50 quid right now, which if I could be bothered driving to Peebles, if I could find an excuse to do it, I would just do it, because you really can't go wrong. It's so much better than any Harley Benton. It's not even just like, oh, it's a bit better. No, it's so much better. The important things are there. The important things in a guitar are the neck and it being put together correctly and everything's in the right place is more important than having Seymour Duncans in it or whatever fancy brand of things. It's all in the putting it together, really. It's like, get a chef to make you an omelette using the same ingredients as I would. They're going to put the right amount of things in and cook it for the right amount of time, and it'll be much bit nicer than the one I make, no matter whether I buy expensive materials or not. Kind of think about that as a guitar. On the other side, it's actually worth upgrading. I'm not really that one for, but I mean, you put your fancy type of pickups in it, or maybe upgrade the tuners. It's got that type of tuner which aren't as good. You can pick up a set of Wilkinson ones for 15 quid or something, fit it yourself if you really wanted to. They don't go out of tune though, so how often are you going to actually tune it? And it's like, you know, they don't, it doesn't slip, which means it's got a well cut nut. Also, I didn't have to touch the nut was properly cut. These are things that are difficult to do. I did have to replace the output jack on the bottom. I basically made one. It was just that there's a plastic thing that the output jack screws into that it's been smashed. You can buy one for about 2 or 3 quid, a metal one so it's an upgrade off eBay for about 2 or 3 quid, and basically it just involves unscrewing the jack socket from the broken plastic plate and putting 4 screws in, or 2 screws in. It's not, I wouldn't put that as guitar work. That's if you could put a shelf up, you could do that kind of thing. Everything else is already there. So my switch, basically what I did was, I will do a video on this when I get another one of these, because I'm going to try and get these. My pal J-Pax, I don't know if you've seen him, does these mad painted guitars, and I just think these are a perfect starting block for that. So I've made it so that I basically broke into the pickups. It wasn't that difficult. Added the extra wire so I could get coil splitting. I did have to cut the switch in half, break one of the tracks inside the switch, but all I've really added to this guitar is 2 wires. Two wires, and then 2 jumper cables. So 2 wires that length and 2 wires that length are all that's in this. But it gives me position 4 Strat style. And position 2 Strat style. Which, it might just be me, but those are the sounds I generally tend to use most of the time anyway, the sort of single coil one. I'm getting right into the single coily sounds these days. The trem actually works pretty good on it. I'd recommend, if you're a beginner though, to not bother with the trem, or if you don't have the arm, just tighten up the screws in the back. There's two screws here and 3 springs, and if you push them right in, it just basically holds this thing. This is not sitting flat in the body. You can lift it up. Just make it flat on the body, and then it'll not go out of tune, and you've basically got a hardtail. Which I recommend for beginners, because if you don't know how to use one of these things, you'll notice I'm being not cagey with it, but gentle. Because I can do that. If you just go, wah! It'll not stay in tune, but no Strats will. Plus, I don't think it'll ever really go out of fashion. I don't know how in fashion a guitar like this is. It's kind of, see if you look at like custom-made, handmade things at thousands of pounds, they're very often very similar looking to this. The whole idea of just having as I said, the sports Strat idea, where it is a Strat. There's actually one you can get, a new one just now, that's basically exactly the same, but it's got a scratch plate, so it looks more like a Strat. I think it's maybe a humbucker and 2 single coils rather than the 2 humbuckers. But I mean, it just like, it does a lot. And Yamaha are so good at making guitars and at making everything. I think this model, this maybe 20 years old or something like that, has been kicking about, and they still make it. I think you can only buy it in a starter pack. You can get it in Guitar. It's like 300 quid with a wee 10 watt amp and a gig bag and a lead and all that stuff. Which, so the perhaps the resale value isn't very good in these. You know, this is, it's £300 in a pack. You know, I'm thinking less than 100 of that, probably quite a bit less than 100 of that £300 is going to be, you know, like a gig bag, what, a £5 or a £10, like one of those bin bag with a zip ones. The amp, maybe 50 quid, you know, leads and stuff, tenner, you know, kind of thing. So it's a £200 guitar, and if you compare it to a £200 guitar, it comes out really well. Apart from, oh, but it doesn't look like a Telecaster, or it doesn't look like a Stratocaster the way the Harley Benton one does. No, it doesn't, but it's a much better guitar. No fret issues. Fret edges are not they're the same as they are on a really good guitar. It's a very well designed guitar. Whoever it was built it knew what they were doing. Sometimes you get guitars and it's like, why did they do that? It's like they just did it so they could sell it. You know, looks great on a spec sheet. Oh, look, it's got a flamed maple veneer. Right, does that make it a better guitar in any way? No, it doesn't, but it makes it look better on a spec sheet. Or a picture on the internet. This comes in black. And I've got a funny feeling I've actually seen a navy blue one as well at one point. And there might be a matte black one, but 90% of them are black under this exact model. They might have even sold them in Argos at one point. But it's just totally, it's good enough to do a lot. I mean, these are the I was saying earlier, it's worth upgrading. The problem with upgrading cheap guitars is if you've got I remember having this argument with someone on, or I didn't have an argument, I didn't comment. I don't comment on things online. I bought my Squier Affinity, spent £300 in pickups and tuners, and I've got myself an American Fender for only £700, whereas a real one costs £900, and it's like, no, what you've got is a cheap guitar with expensive bits on it. Whereas this one, if you put whatever kind of tuners you want on it, put Seymour Duncans in it, you've got a good guitar that's got expensive stuff on it, because the important bit is the deck. It's not the important bit, you know, when people are buying online or reading the forums. It doesn't matter what it plays like or whether it's good. No, it's got to have, look at this, but it is good. You're sitting playing this thing that's buzzing all over the place and cutting your fingers, but you can look at the spec sheet though. Look, and all these people say it's brilliant, so it is good. And it's like, use your fingers and your ears to decide what's good. Yeah, so I'm going to do another video this time, but what I also recommend is the Roland Microcube, which are fantastic little things and are now old enough to be relatively cheap. I remember when these were 150 quid. Now, you can get one for 50 quid with a wee bit of looking about, probably a wee bit more than that, but totally worth it. I mean, actually, like a proper, it's kind of like this guitar in the same way. It's like it's actually got proper good sounds in it. It's not a case of, you know, that's not bad for the money. I mean, try and find a Harley Benton review that doesn't say it's good value for the money. It's like, sort of for the money, this is a good guitar. That's it. So, you know, tape off the bit that says Yamaha and blindfold test someone. This is a good guitar. It's not a good guitar for the money. I mean, it's an amazing guitar for if you can get for 100 quid. But forget the for the money bit. It's just a good guitar. And the pickups are amazing. Mind you, I think that it probably falls into the same category as a lot of Ibanez. You'll see a lot of Ibanez RGs, kind of like that one and that one, where he's like, why have they always got upgraded pickups in them? The ones that are in them must be terrible. If people are, every time you see one, it's got Seymour Duncans or DiMarzios in it. No, it's because the guitar itself is excellent. And the reason to make it cheaper, they put their own brand pickups in it. The Ibanez own brand pickups are brilliant. But it's like this. It's kind of worth upgrading it, because you're not taking a piece of shite and then putting good things on it. You're taking something that's actually good and putting better things on it. I mean, I've got no issue with these pickups at all. I think they sound fantastic. If I was at Yamaha, I would have made it so that this switch did the middle positions the way I like it. They're much better. I mean, the actual humbucker ones are just great, and so is the single coil middle on its own. It's just positions 2 and 4, the way you get it, are a bit sort of, yeah. It's another sound. It's better than not having a sound. You know, I'm sitting there thinking, do you just put a 3-way switch in it so you get humbucker, single coil humbucker as your 3? But it's like, the other 2 sounds are a bit of a variance, but they're not as good as what these ones are. I was thinking for the other person, if you get it with the rolling cube, there's your ultimate going camping, going to someone's house, jamming guitar, taking to parties, not wanting to take your £1,000 Fender or whatever it is you've got, or for messing about with it, because the scope for getting this to play amazing, I didn't really have to do that much to it, but you can make it play pure amazing. You can make it play as good as your real Fender just by fidgeting with it, adjusting all the things. You know, don't be adjusting. I didn't have to actually have to touch the truss rod in this one, but yeah. So recommendations: buy a Yamaha ERG121 and just marvel at how amazing these guitars are. It's like a total hidden gem, but they're totally not hidden. They're all over the place. You see them all the time. People just see them and go, oh, it's just a boring black cheap Yamaha, which it is, but a cheap Yamaha is greater than an expensive other brand for quite a lot of the time. I mean, it doesn't have the, I do get it, when you buy your other brand, I'm not mentioning the H word again, but you buy another brand, it's like this on a spec sheet on the internet and in a photo, it's just black, it's boring. Oh, it's got a rosewood fingerboard. But as you know, if you look up other brands, it's like, oh, flame maple, and oh, hobo fingerboard, and stainless steel frets, and oh, and locking tuners, and all these things. All of these things don't make the guitar any better. They just make it a shit guitar with expensive bits on it. Buy a Yamaha ERG121. I'm not affiliated, but if Yamaha want to send me these for free, please do. And I would totally gig this. Absolutely no problem at all. I didn't buy this for me. I bought this just because I thought it was cheap and it would be good for one of the Jen's painted guitars. And then as soon as I started playing it, it's like, yeah, I kind of want to keep it. So I'm going to keep it for a wee while. I might take it to download. Is it better than a Pacifica? This is the same as a Pacifica, basically. I think Pacifica's more like it's a bit more expensive, but it's pretty much it's the same thing. Try and find a bad review in a Pacifica, apart from resale value, which is never good on Yamahas for some reason, because people are stupid and like to look up forums rather than actually try and play guitars. I bet you there's people out there, I bet you there's a lot of people out there that have got one of these in the attic. It was their first guitar. They never changed the strings on it. Blah, 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 blah. Once they'd been playing for 2 years, they bought themselves an Epiphone Les Paul. Ho, and then this just sat in the cupboard. And now they've got, now it's 10 years later, they've got a few guitars. They've got, Gibson Les Paul and an Epiphone, and a Fender Strat. Dig this out and fix it up, and you'll be amazed at how much it's better than an Epiphone Les Paul. Better than a Gibson Les Paul. Not according to the forums, according to me though. Obviously if you offered me either of the two, I would take the Gibson and sell it, keep all the money and buy one of these. But it's just everything. A fancy paint job could do it. A J-Pax paint job would be just perfect. But if you want to learn how to do wiring, and especially my wiring mod, which doesn't cost any money, well, it costs you a metre of wire, or not even that. Half a metre of wire is what you need in a soldering iron. So I was going well there. The video was looking like it was going to be 10 minutes long. Now it's 20. If you made it this long, well done, and like and subscribe and all that stuff. And I will be doing a video shortly on this with. I'm going to do it with the rolling cube because I just think that's the best beginner pack you can get where you're making it up yourself. But in saying that, these did actually come in beginner packs, so quite often they come with a wee Yamaha 10 watt amp, and from memory they're actually all right. So it could get you up and playing. Rock on. Catch you later.